Hello and welcome to this video where we're going to talk about installing Ruby on Rails on a Windows machine. And this used to be a problem in the past and I used to recommend not doing it, but it's no longer the case, okay, because of some new features in Windows 10. And if you are using an earlier version of Windows, you can still follow these steps. You just need to install a Linux virtual machine on your computer, get that running, and then you can follow these steps along as well. But just note that if you do that, if you have an older version of Windows, then the Linux virtual machine may be a little slower than what you'll get through either these steps or through what you're going to see on the videos. So I have the general outlines here, and I just followed these very recently, and it worked perfectly for me. So I'm going to list them out. The first step is in your Windows App Store, get the Ubuntu Linux app. It's free. And if you just search for it, but before you install or read the description of the app. That's very important. There is a line it asks you to run, and it also gives you instructions on how to do that. Do that before you get the app. So basically, look for your PowerShell in your Windows menu, or your search for shell, and then instead of just clicking on it, right click on it, and then run the PowerShell as admin, all right? Once you do that and follow the instruction that it says in the description, go ahead and get the app and launch it. Once you launch the app, it's gonna start your Ubuntu Linux session. You're gonna need to set up an environment username and password for yourself. Please keep note of these, don't lose them. And then you're going to need to follow these two steps, and they are sudo apt-get update and then sudo apt-get upgrade. And these are not capitalized. Okay, so there you go. And then once you're done with those steps, you're going to need to restart your PowerShell terminal for these changes to take effect. Now, up to here, if you are feeling lost, that's okay. You can always Google this. What I did was How to Geek and then install Linux shell on Windows. And I put How to Geek because I found a good resource from there. And here you go, how to install and use Linux bash shell on Windows 10. It walks you through very nicely to this step, all right? And from here, you don't really need to follow what it's gonna say. It's gonna talk about your GUI and all of that, which we don't need because we're gonna go straight to installing Rails and the tools we need from within your command line. You don't really need the graphical user interface for it. So now the next step is to install RVM, which is a Ruby version manager on your Ubuntu system. So here's the link, github.com/RVM. You can look for this. Just say GitHub RVM, Ubuntu RVM. I'm gonna pull this up. And this walks you through how to install RVM on your system, okay, in your Linux shell, which is perfect. So give this a quick read, and you don't really need to follow everything that's here because this also talks about setting your profile preferences, title, command tab, and everything. I didn't really do this, so I skipped this part. I did one right here, and then I did this 3 and 4, which I'm going to talk about now, right here. Okay, so restart the terminal once you have RVM, and this talks about that as well. After that, use RVM to install Ruby. This talks about this as well. Okay, RVM install Ruby, and you can install a specific version. If you do this, it'll get the latest version, which is fine. Then we're going to install Rails by using this command called gem install Rails. And don't worry if you don't remember this command. I'm going to have a text lecture right after this with these commands listed out. All right. And then you're going to have Rails, Ruby, and environment ready to go. The last two things you're going to need is you're going to need a text editor to write your code in. All right. There are two that are very popular. They're both free. One is Atom, and the other one is Sublime Text. And Sublime Text, while it's free, it's going to ask you to, every now and then, it's going to prompt you to buy it. And you can just skip when it does, or you can buy it. It's totally up to you. Support the person who built it. He or she is doing an awesome job. I really don't know who made it. But anyway, Atom is good. I use Atom, and I'm going to use Atom in the video, so that might be helpful if you want to stay consistent with the videos. And then the last part is you will need to install Node.js. So this is in your Linux shell. And here's a tutorial which walks you through step by step on installing Node.js on your Ubuntu Linux shell. So let me go there. Okay, there you go. So just get Node, get it up and running, and then you'll be all set to just follow the videos word for word as we do in this course. All right, so good luck. And again, there's a text resource right after this with these instructions. And if you run into trouble, you can always try an online browser-based IDE, but I don't think you're going to have any difficulty based on how easy it was for me when I tried this. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. So good luck, and I'll see you in the next video.